Maido! Hi there, Japan fans. In today's show, we're going to talk about parables. Present or master shimashou. This is the fourth year of the Presentations Japan series podcast, and we are beaming around the world to you from sunny Minato-ku here in Tokyo. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, your corporate coaching and training guy, committed to your success, the president of Dale Carnegie Training Japan and best-selling author, Japan Sales Mastery and Japan Business Mastery. My new book, Japan Presentations Mastery, will be released shortly. Through this podcast, I want to help you become a better speaker who is clear, confident, persuasive, and highly influential with those around you. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn, who, unlike many other podcast hosts, have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on iTunes. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Tuesdays, the Presentations Japan series. Every second Tuesday, the Business Tatsujin no Oshie Show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series. Every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcast Show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show. And Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. This is episode number 251. Today we're talking about the Bible's parables as a presentation guide, even for atheists. I was confirmed into the Anglican Church when I was 12 years of age. I remember it was the first time I ever wore a tie in my life. Prior to that, every week I had to ride my bicycle to the church after school and do Bible studies with other kids with the minister in order to pass the test to be able to be confirmed. My parents were not religious at all, but I guess because Christianity is such a central component of our belief systems and literature, they wanted me to get the basics. Years later, I discovered Zig Ziglar, one of the most famous modern-day sales trainers. He was raised in the deep south of America where Bible studies is very big. I've read his books and watched his videos. I'm a fan. I noticed he was an incredible communicator. I also noticed that a lot of his sales stories were like the parables he would have read in his red letter Bible. That is where the words attributed to Jesus are written in red. Australians are not particularly religious like Americans are, but I did recognise the power of these parables in communication. I don't mean the actual quotation of the parables themselves, but the storytelling structure. The parable structure always has a learning component wrapped up in the story being told. Often in business, we want to achieve the same thing for our audience. We might be giving a persuade speech rather than a simple inform speech, or we may be calling for the audience to take action rather than just entertain them. The parables are always from real life rather than being a confection created for effect. This makes it easy for us to identify with the story. When I mentioned going through the confirmation process as a child, I'm sure many readers went through a similar experience, including those who are from Muslim or Buddhist religious belief systems. Our real-life stories make it easy to connect with our audience because they can understand or empathize with what we are saying. The parables are also very easy to understand. The message is crystal clear. Do this and things will be good. Do that and things will be bad. This simplicity is what makes the storytelling so effective. Zig Ziglar was a master of telling his stories, which each had a lesson there for us in sales to absorb. They were from his experience or the experience of others from the real world, not from the how it should be world. Find out more we come back from the break. Our show today is brought to you by our public programs, but we also do custom-made in-house classes. Now, we do them in our super safe classroom, we do them live online, and we do them in Japanese, and we do them in English. Now, today's show is brought to you by, on the 24th of August, we're doing Innovation Leadership. On the 8th of September, we're doing negotiations. On the 16th of September, we're doing conflict management. And on the 19th of October, we're doing storytelling. Check out our website at www.dale-carnegie, carnegie.co.jp. Lots and lots of value for you there. Now, to do better in Japan, email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Get my best-selling books, Japan Sales Mastery, that's the Bible for selling in Japan, and Japan Business Mastery, and my new book, Japan Presentations Mastery. If you like learning by watching videos, there are over 1,000 there for you at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. We release 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, which is the premier business show in Japan, comes out Mondays. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show, and Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders in Japan from SMEs all the way up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. Don't forget, you can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Welcome back. This is the danger when we become speakers. We pontificate from on high, from way above the clouds, as if we were superhumans who never made a mistake or had a failure. The ego has to be strong to tell a story against yourself. We've grown up super sensitive to being criticized, and so it's like kryptonite. We avoid it completely. Criticizing yourself sounds crazy, so we only talk about what a legend we are. Zig understood that audiences love a good redemption tale. Of course, we like to hear how to do things so that they go well. That parable is always in fashion. Interestingly, though, we often feel distant from this model story of bravery, perseverance against the odds, intelligence, strength, and wisdom. We naturally aspire to those things, but they can feel like they are a million miles away from where we are at this moment. Now, failure, disaster, train wrecks, all feel much closer to our reality, and of course we want to avoid those. Parable stories on what not to do are much more popular than ones on what we should be doing. When things go pear-shaped, don't miss the chance to take a note on that for a future talk. The events may feel radioactive at the time, but get it down on the record so that you can retell it when the pain has subsided. Particularly include the characters involved, the extent of the damage, and the depth of the heroics or stupidity involved. Don't be limited to your own disasters. Comb through the media and books for other people's disasters, which can then be trotted out as a parable for doom and gloom. Storytelling master Zig Ziglar copied the parables, probably without even giving it a second thought, because it was so much a part of his cultural upbringings in Yazoo City, Mississippi. As presenters, we can find our own blue ribbon stories of triumph and catastrophe. We can wrap these up in simple, true renditions of reality that our audience can identify with and easily recall. The parables are well remembered for a reason. They work as a storytelling structure, and we can adopt it for our own talks too. In 10 minutes, I bet you can come up with at least 2 or 3 good incidents that have parable-like qualities, which can then be fleshed out into mini stories of business good and evil for an audience. Give it a try. Thank you for joining the Presentations Japan series. If you got value from today's show, spread the love around and share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Immediately apply what you have learned today. Use it and go out there and become a presentations legend. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guy in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.